All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a couple of real people out there, just like you and just like me. Thanks for being here. I appreciate the subscribers as we're getting close to 75K. Just want to put that out there. So if you haven't subscribed, you want to be that person that puts me over 75,000. I don't know if I'm going to get there before the end of the year. It's a possibility. It would be cool. It's been a long time coming. Some would say it's a ridiculously high number for a channel like mine. So all of the above is true, right? I'm going to be talking about Dokken in this episode. He has some interesting things to say about his former bandmates. Before I get there, if you like the music of Dokken, you may enjoy this City of Lights. This is called Before the Sun Sets. This is melodic hard rock done in a kind of a YNT. I'm trying to throw some reference points here, maybe some Deep Purple in there, but definitely melodic rock, a little harder, a little edgier. This singer has a really powerful voice in this project. Came out early last year, and just really enjoyed listening to this. So check it out. Melodic rock. It's new material for most people, unless you follow this stuff religiously. City of Lights, Before the Sun Sets. It actually has a really good message embedded into the music, which I appreciate. So Don Dokken doesn't appreciate his former bandmates in many ways, claims that he wrote all the songs. He says he wrote the hit songs anyway, even though they were credited to the entire band. In a brand new interview, Don was asked if he and his Dokken bandmates will continue performing live, even though he has publicly stated that the group's recent album, Heaven Comes Down, will be their last. He said in part that we'll keep touring. He says, I've done a lot of interviews. I've been doing interviews when I'm off the road. And I tell everybody this is our last record, and that's true. But good news for Dokken fans. He says, we're going to just keep touring. He says, I mean, there's nothing I can do. So file this under it's way more lucrative than to tour than it is to put out new material. I mean, pretty much every old timer out there who puts out a new album is met with silence, indifference, even resistance at some time. Apparently, too, Don didn't have a good experience at the hospital. He says, I'm hoping the surgeon that screwed my life up will get run over by a bus. He really screwed me up. And Don is referencing complications from his neck and spinal surgery that took place back in 2019. He says, it took a year for me to be able to raise my hand above my head. So I was depressed. Obviously, I came home. I was in a walker. I'm in a cane now. And yeah, it really sucked. But the bottom line is, I would love to keep going as Dokken, but I can't write any more songs. He says, I'm screwed. I took my Steinway piano and shipped it to Los Angeles because my daughter is a trained concert pianist. She was happy to get the piano, but I don't know how I can write another record. Now, what's interesting is he goes on to say about his former bandmates that even though when you look at the record credits and it says Don Dokken, George Lynch, Jeff Pilson, Mick Brown, they didn't write those songs. And this is where it gets even more interesting. And everybody knows in my camp that I wrote the songs, the guitar and the lyrics. Those other three guys were in Orange County with an ounce of cocaine trying to come up with some good songs. And that's why I couldn't write with them, because I don't do drugs, never did. Interesting. So Don Dokken basically accusing his former bandmates of being, coked up while they're writing songs. Uh, the 1980s, folks. I hate to just throw the 80s under the bus because I lived through the 80s. The 80s were a great time in many ways, but yes, there's a reason it was called the decade of decadence. And a lot of the songwriting that took place was definitely under the influence, no question about it. And Don Dokken, he's okay to throw his surgeon and his former bandmates under the bus. And quite frankly, I kind of like the guy on the front lawn yelling at everybody at this stage. I've really embraced that in my life. Uh, and I think I could probably get along with Don Dokken. I really think the band themselves were very much underrated and underpromoted and underappreciated. They just should have been. They sold a lot of albums despite that. They broke through enough. I'm trying to think of the song that I really gravitated toward when it came to Dokken. I think it was "Alone Again." Yeah, "In My Dreams," "Alone Again," "The Hunter." These are all the songs, by the way, that Don Dokken says he just wrote these songs, and these guys were doing coke in Orange County. An ounce of coke, trying to come up with some good songs. I mean, he must have known this firsthand, that they couldn't create songs and that they were trying. And this is a way, this is the old adage that if you do drugs and you drink a lot, you can create better. And I doubt that's true. I think you might create some weird music, and but as far as being generally more creative, I don't think that's the case. So kind of sad that if you're a Dokken fan, you probably won't be hearing any more new material, but I really enjoyed the first single from this album. The album is entitled "Heaven Comes Down," and maybe you should show your support for Don Dokken. He's been through a lot, and apparently, he didn't get the credit he deserved as the leader of Dokken. Just a great name for a band, too, and I think it's just his last name, unless he's got an alias name, and I didn't know that. But yeah, man, gonna go see Dokken. Just, it sounds rough and tumble. It's good stuff. Anyway, folks, it just another rock and roll story coming out years later, and it's not surprising. City of Lights, check this out if you like the music of Dokken, Whitesnake, things like that. Before the Sun Sets, I think you'll really like it. It's melodic rock. It's a little heavy at times, but it's still easy enough on your ears where you'll retain your hearing later, and you'll thank me for that, maybe. Also want to thank all the patrons as the year winds down, folks. I'm looking for patrons as usual. I know the holidays are rough. The economy is horrible. Things cost way too much money out there, but if you can afford $1 a month, also for YouTube members, you're getting early viewing privileges now on videos. And I'm not getting a ton of views from YouTube members, but yeah, if you're a member, you will see this before everybody else does. And I guess that's kind of a perk for some people. They're like, no, show it to me later. I don't want to see it earlier. I don't even want to see it, man. So that's a perk, right? So anyway, folks, thanks for watching. God bless everyone. And as I've been saying, please pray for peace in the Middle East and around the world, because war, quite frankly, really sucks.